Welcome to AER Int channel, and welcome back to comprehensive course. So from this lecture onwards, we are going to see the introduction of dimensions and relations in SolidWorks. This is a very important topic, and this plays a very important role in defining our sketch. So what I'm talking about is, for that, I'm going to start my SolidWorks, and you can see that this is interface, and over here, what I've done, I have created one circle. So we can see that this circle is undefined completely. So how we can say that? Undefined means it can move anywhere, it is not fixed, and it can have any kind of dimension. So this condition of sketch is known as undefined or underdefined. So this is a very rough sketch, and you don't have to make that. You always have to try to make this case defined. It should not move its position by itself, or let's say that it should not free to move over here and there. So for that, I'm going to see some of the important terms. Like the first thing that we are going to see is, what do you mean by undefined, underdefined, defined, and overdefined sketch? So to learn all this concept, let us see with one example. So let's say that there's a field, or this is a completely infinite field. So this field is infinite. Let's just assume this to be a white field, or let's say that green field, the having grasses and all. And this is basically the infinite field. So what happens now? Let's say that we have just put a shape in this field like this. My design is not so good, so pardon me for that. But let's say that this is the shape over here. Okay, but assume it to be a shape, so we can see that this is a shape, and the shape wants to eat the grass. So this is the infinite field, so the shape can be anywhere. So shape can go over here, and over here. And so there's not a fixed point, or this is not a limited area along which a shape can move. It's an infinite field, and shape can have at any point he wants. So this is a problem over here. So this is known as the shape is undefined. So there's no proper definition, or there's no proper constraint for the shape. Now let's say that to constrain the shape or to define the shape, what we have done, we have put a rope on his neck, and this is a rope, and we haven't fixed this rope to any of the part of the ground. But what is that? We have just tied up a rope, so we have tried to constrain this shape, but we haven't put it on the ground. So this is basically still the shape can move anywhere taking this rope. So this constraints that we have provided to it is ineffective for this shape right now, since we haven't put it on the ground. So this condition of the shape is known as underdefined. So we have some things that will going to concern, or that will going to define this position, but it is not enough. So that condition is known as underdefined. And now let's just say that we have just put this shape, or put a rope on its neck, and we have just put this neck, or we have just put this rope on the ground. We have fixed this rope on the ground. Now the shape can only move to the limited area. It can't move anywhere. It can only move to a circular radius covering the length of this rope. So this condition of the shape is known as fully defined, or let's say that we know that where will be the position of the shape. We know that we have fixed this shape in a certain radius that we formed. So this is a constraint, or a properly constrained or fully defined shape. Now we know that this condition is enough. This whole thing is enough to just constrain the shape on its position. But what we have done, we have also put another rope on its neck, and we have also tied this rope. This will be the same length. There's no difference between this rope and this rope. And we have put it on the ground. So now what is happening, that this rope is not affecting the constraint or the definition of the shape. So it means that this is a useless constraint, or this is a useless rope that we have put on shape's neck. So this is known as overdefined or overconstrained condition. Now let's say that we can just imagine one more situation over here. Let's say that this is a shape, and what we have done, we have just tied a rope to its tail, and also we have tied it to the ground. So here also we can see that this system is, previously that system was enough to just hold this shape on its position. But still we are making some more constraints to this shape, and that is basically not affecting in a positive way. This is affecting in some negative way for the shape. The shape is unable to move now. So this also condition can be assumed to be the overdefined or overconstrained definition. So this is what is known as undefined, overdefined, underdefined, and successfully defined condition. This example is a very comprehensive and very easy example to understand about the definition of the sketch definitions and all. Now we can just implement the condition that we have seen in the shape over here. We can assume that the circle to be the shape, and we can see that the canvas to be the infinite canvas, and we can see that the circle can be anywhere right now. That's because the circle is undefined, or in SolidWorks, undefined and underdefined is the same thing. So here, with the help of this section, you can see that downward over here in this bar, we can see that the definition of the sketch is written. This is known as underdefined. So in the next lecture, we are going to see how we can just define this using the dimensions only. So to define the sketch, there are basically two methods. The first method is known as relations and the other method is known as dimensions. And so with the help of these two things, we can just make the sketch fully defined. We can use the combination of these two things as well. It's not necessary that we are only using this dimension. We can use the relations and combination of relations and dimension as well. So in the next lecture, we are going to see how we can just create a fully defined sketch with the help of dimensions only. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like. I hope it can be a little helpful and useful.